How's your bye?
It was good. It was good. Got a lot of stuff done. We worked for the first part of that week and got a lot of stuff done. A lot of good reflections and got a little bit of time away with the family as well. So that was always good.
I'm curious what how much you've looked at past matchups between Travis Kelce and Kevin Byard, and if so, what do you say?
I would say when we were talking about bringing Kevin on, we've looked at kind of all those matchups, and the Titans and him in particular have done a good job versus those guys over there, and they've had some effectiveness, and so he's done a good job in that matchup.
Yeah, the reflections over the first year with this defense, what are the things that you kind of noticed about what you attempted and things that you could fix?
Yeah, I think, a lot of things. We're obviously, like I tell you guys, kind of week in, we're still growing. I think we're still trying to get better. And there's some places that we're doing really well at that we want to continue to improve on. And some of the spots that we feel good at coming out of the bye of really evaluating ourselves, as coaches and teachers, and then trying to get our guys in good positions to make some plays a little bit more consistently. And they've been doing such a good job, the players I'm talking about, of executing on the field and helping us win some of these games in critical situations. So we want to build on a lot of things that they've been doing well.
Speaking of growing, Byard question, what is it that specifically leads to him successfully playing against Travis Kelce?
Yeah, I think he has a good mindset. I think he understands some of Travis's route stems, and at least off the tape, as I'm talking about, and then he challenges him. And then they had some different looks too from a schematic standpoint that Tennessee had done that helped him win in those situations.
Speaking of growing, you haven't used much dime this year, even when teams have gone with 10 personnel. What has been the reasoning for that? Yeah,
I think a lot of it goes into that, and some of it's kind of who our bodies are, who we're preparing for it. Moving around different people in the secondary and that linebacker, and so we've got a plan, and as we continue to build some continuity and get some pieces in certain spots that we want to keep developing, we'll continue to look at all the packages, including dime.
How do you coach?
Okay. Yeah. To follow up. So when you get whenever a team gets a receiver matched up against a linebacker, I mean, is that okay with you? Because of what you've decided in terms of personnel.
No, I think we're always trying to get our best matchups on the best people, and so it's always on the play call to get the best matchups there, and either you adjust, even if it's nickel people, there's different ways to adjust it with scheme, which we'll, like part of the bye week, we'll continue to improve upon in those situations as well.
How do you coach against Mahomes' ability to not take sacks?
That's a great question. I think the big emphasis for us is just understanding kind of the entirety of what we're going up against with this opponent. And that's a big element. Obviously, 15 and 87 over there are really big elements of that. And it's really about trying to disrupt his time to throw and really changing that, because he's, like you said, elite at avoiding sacks, and really he does a good job of holding the ball and waiting for creating plays and extending plays that way, and waiting for his guys to get open, and that's where they're really artful. And so our big emphasis is trying to understand that fact and then trying to get after him in different ways from a rush and coverage standpoint to impact his time to throw.
As a follow-up to that, you saw him in Chicago, you saw him in Seattle. What is the week like when you start preparing for him?
For him? I think obviously he's such a special player. He's a generational player, so that alert is there. But our process is the process, what we do, and we try not to overvalue one over the other. And every week, you always look at your matchups and the people that you got to stop, and he's a big one this week because he's such a great player. And so we kind of take our process the same way. It's not like everybody like, oh my gosh, you're playing these guys. I mean, this is the NFL, and every week, it's a battle every week, and we've seen that in the first half of our season. You got to win, find ways to win in this league.
I know you weren't here last season, but what was your takeaway from the Super Bowl film?
Like I said, I don't like to really speak on that. I think the guys really played hard. I do. I think they played hard at all levels of the defense and as a team. And that's one or two plays here or there that you want to make, and that's unfortunately how it went for the guys here last year. But that's last year, and I think our guys are in such a great mindset now of really looking forward to this week and really trying to beat the opponent that we have ahead of us. Because it's not last year's opponent, and we're not last year's team. So that hasn't really been part of our conversation at all, to be honest.
What is Rashee Rice showing on tape?
He's growing. His target share, his route variety, and his trust level, it seems like, within the offense has grown. And he's a good receiver. He's a good receiver. He can do a lot of different routes for them and catch the ball and run it and create some one-cut moves and make people miss in space. So he's done a really good job for them.
The Chiefs do a
What would
lot.
the return of Roby mean for you guys?
Yeah, I think the return of really everybody. You just want to try to keep getting your guys back, and then you keep developing them. So he's a veteran player who's played a little bit for us and has been around us now for a little bit. So I think that'll continue to help with our continuity and just getting more players back.
I'm sorry, Jim,
Go
just
ahead.
a quick follow.
Go ahead.
He said the time off gave him a chance to better acquainted with the defense. Can you see that? I mean, it's been a short week.
Yeah, right.
Can you see that?
Sure. I mean, I think so. I think, like you said, the time off, the preparation, the more time in the defense, learning the defense in the meeting rooms over this time has all helped him. And that's right, in the short time that, practice yesterday. Yes, in that short time there. But I think it'll continue to grow for him that way too. Because there's never there's no better training than playing football. Right? I mean, you got to play football to be good at football. And so I think he's played a lot of football. And so now he'll get back into doing that, and he'll continue to help us.
The Chiefs used a bunch formations as much as any team, any offense in the NFL. Why do you think that is, and what are some of the keys to kind of not allowing that to affect you negatively?
Yeah, I think that's a great question, Jeff. I think the reason a lot of teams use bunch of formations, I'm sure Coach Reed is tremendous and usually always one or two steps ahead of the curve offensively, is it creates matchup issues. They're trying to create matchups for their guys, and they rub people differently. The displacement and how people come out of the bunch impacts how you pick up the bunch. And so you got to have a really good, solid, clean plan on how to pick up all their variety of their bunch routes from all the displacements that they come out of. And then you got to target who you need to target and who they're try to be ahead of who they're trying to target in the bunch plan. Then you got to have those tools built up and cleaned up, which is a big point of emphasis for us this week, and really every week, but this week in particular because of how much bunch they do in all of our coverages, and making sure that we're sound there.
Hey, Sean, earlier in the year, Terrell Evans had a penalty near the sideline where Sam Howell's running for a first down, and if you let up, you don't hit him, he's going to get the first down. If you hit him, you might get the late hit. What's the coaching point on that going forward, after that play happened? And I only ask that because Mahomes kind of has the tendency to ride the sideline and step out the last second when the defender's coming.
Yeah, the coaching point is, we just try to be smart as the angles of the shoulders of that guy dictates. I mean, that's a bang play, and we've seen that play can go either way based on if the interpretation of that guy's trying to gain or advance yards or if he's running out of bounds. And so we try not to take the aggressiveness away from our players, just try to teach them to be smart. And then the tighter we get to the sideline, we try to really push and lean and push them back as opposed to lowering shoulders and things like that. But, that's such a timing play. And Terrell did the best he could in that situation for what he did. And he ended up getting a stop for us based on that, but it became a penalty. So I think that's just a judgment thing, and we just try to teach our guys the details and the fundamentals of when they're in that situation, what are the tools they can go to use.
We haven't seen James Bradbury. We haven't seen James Bradbury in the nickel very much. You guys kind of got away from that, I guess. Is that something you still could see in certain matchups, or do you prefer him on the outside at this point?
No, I think so. I mean, he's been tremendous, in terms of his preparation and everything. And I think at this point in the season, the big thing is to make sure that you have enough answers in depth, and we do, where you can move things around if you need to by matchup or whatever it is, injury, whatever it is that happens in a game, the chaos of a game, you got to be able to adapt and adjust to that. And I think our guys have done a really good job of that, to be honest with you. One of our reflections was that throughout the bye week, our guys have done a really good job of adapting and adjusting within a game to help us go win games. And I think James has been a big part of that, and so that'll continue.
And you got a teaching, advising background. How are your interactions with, seems like a lot of young guys on your defense, rookies like Sidney Brown and other young guys, Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis? What are those interactions like? How do those things kind of equip you in those moments?
Like my interactions with them?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're authentic. I think they're honest. I think they're real, and I think we try to learn from each other and grow each other. I think we try to be demanding, and they understand the expectations, regardless of if you're a rookie or not. I think that's kind of my approach to really all of the players that I work with, and the staff too. Just try to be direct and honest, and everybody's in it for the same reason. Try to get us all better and try to win games and do anything that we can, and understanding our roles within that structure, and then that's kind of how we develop our relationships.
And
Sean,
what's
how
the
does,
issues with Nakobe out for a defined period of time now? You want to settle in the two linebackers in that spot?
As opposed to like the,
As opposed to, I mean, with Nakobe, you rotate.
Oh, I got you.
Is it Morrow and Cunningham now, you know, as those top two, or do you still want to rotate at that position?
yeah, I think that's kind of a discussion that we kind of have every week. Like I told you, the discussion really starts on Monday and Tuesday and pretty much takes us through Thursday to Friday of a normal game week, in terms of our plans to rotate people and get people in. But, you know, the thing that we feel good about is whoever's involved there, and right now it's going to be Nick and Zach, and, you know, obviously we got Christian and Ben and all these other guys that we're training there also and have played for us well, is that we really believe in any of those guys, and that's why we do it, you know, to keep guys fresh and to make sure that we get the freshest, most physical guys in the most critical moments at the end of the game and at the end of the year. And so that's kind of still the philosophy overall of what we want to achieve, and however that shapes out, every game is so different.